Yeah, and this is kind of interesting. I want to go over a little bit closing costs because there's a little bit of a disconnect between the perception of closing costs and again the reality. And I had a recent example of this where I arranged a purchase money loan for a borrower. Loan amount was about 460,000. And when they first got the worksheet from me, they looked at it, and of course, the way the worksheet's designed, it suggested that the closing costs were going to be a little bit over $10,000. And they reacted a little bit negatively to that. And I said, well, hold on, let me clarify for you really what that is telling you. And what I pointed out is that there's two types of costs related to getting a mortgage when you're purchasing a home. Now, one is what we call non-recurring costs. And what I like to say is that these are the costs that are truly the fees or the charges that you're going to incur when you get the loan. What that means is these are going to be coming from third parties who are going to actually charge a fee for a service performed. Excuse me. Now, the most obvious example of that would be the appraiser, the credit report company who's providing the credit report. But it can be other things like all the escrow and title fees, the escrow fee, the endorsement fee from the title company, the sub-escrow fee, the notary fee. These all generally are coming from the escrow or title company handling your transaction. Excuse me again. Now, the other section or subset of closing costs is what we call recurring or prepaid closing costs. Now, this includes what are not really fees per se, but things related to the property in mostly, other than the fact that there will be prepaid interest, which is just a proration from when the loan funds and where you have to pay the interest till the end of that month because your first mortgage payment's another month after that. But then the other funds that have to be provided is homeowners insurance. You have to buy a 12-month, you have to pay a 12-month premium when you close the loan. And then there's property taxes. Those are prorated. And in the case of homeowners insurance and property taxes, if you are going to set up what we call an escrow account or an impound account so that the lender's paying those for you on your behalf, then you have to provide advance funds to set up those accounts. Now, again, that's not a fee being charged to you by a third party. And then the last item is HOA dues. If you have HOA dues, you may have to pay those. You usually have to pay 1 month in advance, and there may be a transfer fee from the HOA company. And as a result, in many cases, if not most cases, the prepaid costs can be equal to or higher than the non-recurring third-party fee-based charges. For example, I still have the worksheet from that recent transaction I did. And for them, the non-recurring closing costs were $4,300. But the recurring or prepaid costs were $5,700. My point to this home buyer was, even if you didn't get a loan, most of the recurring costs, other than the prepaid interest, because you're not getting a loan, would still be there. So that's an important distinction to make. So as a consequence, just realize that when you're getting a purchase money loan in particular, and you're getting an impound account for your taxes and insurance, it's quite possible that the actual fees being charged to you are going to be less than half of the total closing cost amount. So that's important to know, so that in that regard, you'll realize that maybe you're not really being charged too much. And some of these costs are going to be something you would incur even if you were paying cash for the property. So it's an important distinction, one that I think you should keep in mind.